It was just this dining room slide out that was stuck shut. So I brought it into Camping World. It was the worst experience ever. About a month ago, I started out on my RV journey. I have a 2002 Winnebago Itasca. Everything was going fine, and then one day I jammed a cooler in my dining room slide out and it got stuck shut. Now the cooler that caused the dining room slide out to be stuck shut was the problem. The hydraulic system was not the problem at all because the back bedroom slide out was working and the hydraulic lifts were all working fine. It was just this dining room slide out that was stuck shut. So I brought it into Camping World because I looked up online on Google and it had a lot of good reviews, so I figured it would be my best bet when I was traveling out of town to bring it in there. But it ended up being the worst experience I've ever had in a mechanical shop ever. I'm going to show you a couple of clips of what I recorded back then when I was at Camping World, and then when I was forced to sleep in a parking lot down the street because they completely ruined my motorhome. We ended our stay early at the other campground so we could come over to Camping World here and try to get that slider fixed. And they looked at it, they called me back, and it needs a ton of I got the motorhome back from Camping World and got some pretty bad news that it's gonna take 4 to 6 weeks to get everything fixed and get the parts in. When I had it there, they were testing out why the dining room slide out wasn't working. In the meantime, they broke the entire system. So now my bedroom slide out doesn't work. So I have no slide outs. Not only that, the bedroom slide out isn't working, so the bed is pushed up against all the bureaus and the drawers, so all my clothes are in there. Basically what happened is the dining room slide out was stuck shut because the cooler was jammed in it. It had nothing to do with the hydraulic system. The hydraulic system was all working fine before I brought it to Camping World. And because I brought it into Camping World, which is one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made, they completely ruined my whole hydraulic system. Not only was my dining room slide out not working, but now my bedroom slide out and my hydraulic lifts were all not working because they blew the hydraulic motor when they were testing. Now, I don't know why they were even trying to use the motor to open and close the slide out in the first place. A good mechanic would know if it was stuck shut that the motor is not gonna unjam it from its position. So basically they just held their finger on the button and they burnt out the motor.
Start these things and stop them and start them again.
And here's the diagnostic I was given back from Camping World. After doing a test on the whole system, found that the control board has failed in not sending power to the valve to extend the room. Also, the motor pump failed while testing everything, so at this point my suggestion would be a whole new pump assembly, valves and all, and control board due to the age of the coach, which is completely false because it ended up being a faulty solenoid that was fixed for just a few $100s. So as you can see, they admitted to blowing the motor and they didn't take any responsibility for it. So I complained to the service manager, Rick, and I also had an account manager, Jessica, and just overall, it was some of the worst customer service I've ever experienced ever. Like, I'm not even joking. It was horrible. My account manager, Jessica, didn't even find the parts for my motorhome. I was actually willing to pay them to fix it, and I had to call around the country to different companies to actually find the parts for my own motorhome when that was supposed to be her job. Every time I asked her about it, she said, oh, they won't return my calls, making up excuses. I ended up getting on the phone and finding the parts within 30 minutes. I merged the calls with Jessica,
Fifth, Main 299,
and a parts supplier, and found my own parts for my motorhome. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I figured I would go to the corporate office and complain, file the complaint, and hopefully somebody would hear what I was saying and take responsibility for what was done. Come to find out, the chairman of Camping World is Lemonis.
After you take this check, I'm 100% in charge.
He does a bunch of business renovations, and he goes in there and he revamps their customer service and their whole business. But turns out it seems like that's more of just a TV personality, because I called their office. Somebody took notes, said that they were gonna follow up with me. They never followed up. I followed up twice. By the third time, they finally returned my phone call and said that they came to an agreement that they're not responsible for the damages that were done. Overall, it was just the worst experience. I would recommend never going to Camping World. Even if it was the last resort, I would have my motorhome towed to a different place. And I'm not the first person to have issues. I posted the issues that I had in Facebook groups of RVing Winnebagos, and it seemed like everybody in there had an issue with Camping World. And look at on this post, I have 87 comments, and 90% of these comments are feedback, bad reviews on other RV owners' Camping World experience. I'm just gonna go through some of them right now. Here's a review by Marzi. We bought a brand new fifth wheel, paid cash, and a few months later found out it was infested with powder post beetles, and Camping World Keystone would not do a thing to help. Stay away from both. A review by Diane. We will no longer go to Camping World after a bad experience with them. A review by Jennifer. We also had a terrible experience at Camping World, pretty much the same as yours. We'll never go back for any reason. Shireen. I agree 1000%. I've been saying it every time I see someone bought from Camping World. Don't make the same mistake we did. Camping World is the worst place to buy and get service. A review by Dennis. If my motorhome broke down in front of Camping World, I would have it towed anyplace else. Do I shop at Camping World? Yes. Just don't let them touch my rig. A review by Judith. We took our coach there once, never again. A small water leak took 3 weeks to fix. Finally, we told them we would be there the next day to pick it up, and it was fixed, but only when things got ugly. Lemonis, who is the chairman of Camping World, does not answer calls, emails, or mail. He has allowed unethical, slimy business practices from Camping World, which includes theft and deception. We've had a bait and switch pulled on us. Never again. We have had great success with Campers Inn. And here's the last one I'll share out of the dozens and dozens of negative reviews. Jay. I wouldn't let Camping World touch my coach even if it was free. So Camping World tried to sell me on a completely whole system, my hydraulic system, the control panel, the motor, the circuit boards, or whatever they wrote. I ended up bringing it to Rick's RV in Murphy, North Carolina, and all it was that the solenoid on the hydraulic system was not working properly, and this was only a $300 fix. My whole experience, where I had to pay for a new motor, I had to pay for the labor, it cost about $2,000, I had to pay for extra campgrounds that I would never have stayed in otherwise. Just the frustration of time, it was the worst experience ever, because their mechanics were so bad at the diagnostic testing. They cost me a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of headache, and it was only a $300 fix. Rick's RV figured out the issue in about 3 hours. My recommendation is never go to Camping World. Find a local shop that will treat you right, a family-owned business, because what it seems like is Camping World is trying to maybe sell you on a new motorhome, upsell you on more parts, when a local shop will take care of you and just fix whatever you need. I hope this review helps you. I hope it saves you money, time, headache, and I am recording a documentary. If you want to subscribe below, I'll be posting the full documentary, my whole experience start to finish. You could also sign up for the release of the documentary on thetraveldocumentary.com, and thanks for watching.